The study's next to the room you're staying in. The furniture in there is uncovered. I was actually planning on moving most of it out to make it into a second guest bedroom. Any day now. Well, it's probably for the best. Because this time you're definitely not going to be able to avoid rifling through things. Mom will forgive me. I hope. There's so many places to hide something. Take it one by one, and we'll see if anything jumps out. I'm still amazed they got these plates over in one piece. A souvenir from my great-grandparents' trip to Germany. My bisabuela was a surprisingly mean shot. These trolls, they're a good deal less scary in miniature, no? A couple of family members were in New Zealand around the time they filmed the first movie. Bisabuelo Javier was a big travel buff. He used to steal all the towels from the hotel rooms we stayed in. He'd be like, "It's covered by the room fee." He was a good man. Yeah, a bit eccentric, but it was part of his charm. This is more like it. Let me take a look. Raúl Soto del Bosque. Raúl Soto, R.S. Javier's little brother. Of course. I should have known. I've heard the stories a million times. They never found his body. Raúl was a bit of a hothead, if you'd believe the reputation he had. A young intellectual. You know the type. And Javier was the last person to see him alive. And did he go join the Villistas? Or maybe he had a target on his back. Us Sotos were a pretty influential family around here before the revolution. Javier and Raúl's dad would have had the ear of the local cacique, the mayor in the pocket of the federal government. Favors for favors, you know. But then, everything was shook up. I heard that when they reported the disappearance, the police, or what was left of them around that time, practically laughed in their faces. They knew Raúl better than his own family. Said he was probably out fighting with some bandits. But then why would he leave his shotgun behind? And how did it end up in that logbook 6 feet under the ground? We're clearly not done with this mystery yet, but at least we know the major players now. Let's see if there are any clues in the book. Let's head back to the Casa Grande one last time. I think we're close to wrapping this up. You remember where the bookcase is, right? Right where we left it. ¿Qué es esto? A secret passage. Right under our noses this whole time. I trust you have a flashlight. Be careful on those stairs. I have to say, I was half expecting a chupacabra to jump out and drain your blood. This is a relief. Anything on the desk? A white neckerchief. This looks just like the one Raul was wearing in the photo. A diary. Javier's? No. It's Raul's. But this explains a lot. I've been the older brother myself, and I dread to think what my sisters had written about me in their diaries. But it bled over into politics for Javier and Raul. In the middle of a civil war. And then Javier took the gun, and when we found it, there was still blood on the stock. And Raul's things are here. They must have had another altercation. One that didn't end well for Raul. I still can't believe it. My bisabuelo was a bit weird, but doing this to his own brother? It makes me second guess our whole relationship. It's a lot. I think he wanted us to find this. Not just so we'd know the truth, but to show us that he did love his brother. Despite everything. It just hurts me knowing that he took a secret like this to his grave. Hey, listen. I owe you big time for helping us out with this. Thank you, really. You're welcome to stay on the ranch as long as you'd like. In the meantime, I'm going to do what I should have done ages ago and get in touch with my family. Let them know what you've discovered. Talk soon. Hey, ¿qué onda? I hope you're keeping yourself busy. I just got off the phone with my mom. I told her about the changes we've been making here and what we found. And I apologized. Me, stubborn little chava. Well, there's a first time for everything. I said I wasn't trying to stomp all over the ranch's history and that I want them. I want my family on board with me. There's one thing Javier and Raul's story has taught me. It's that these kind of feuds aren't worth it. Whatever the reason. But yeah, now that that's done, we're looking to the future. And I wanted to ask you a favor. I'm sure you've noticed the scaffolding above the entrance to the Casa Grande. We repainted the entire thing recently, but it still needs some finishing touches. One thing that's been on my to-do list for ages is coming up with a more search engine-friendly name for this building, so prospective guests have an easier time finding us. La Casa Grande is fine, but it's a bit impersonal. Plus, there's tons of them in this state alone. Well, my mom had a great idea. How's your handwriting? Not to worry. I asked my sister to drop by some stencils and paint while you were out hunting. She left them in the kitchen. Can you fetch them and head over to the archway at the Casa Grande's entrance? Oh, I won't spoil the name. You'll see soon enough. There we go. And don't forget the brush. Steady now. Nice and even. Couldn't have done a better job myself. We wanted something that had a story behind it, that evokes the history of the ranch. Raul didn't deserve his fate. Even Bisabuelo Javier would have admitted that. This is our way of honoring him. Oof, I think you're due a break now. Thirsty work, even in November. You know, I'm already a lot more optimistic about the future of this place than I was just a few short weeks ago. And a lot of that is on you. It's not going to be easy, and I expect we'll hit a few bumps on the way. But with my family backing me, I'm optimistic that we can turn around Rancho del Arroyo. Create a biosphere reserve that all the weird and wonderful creatures of the desert can thrive in. We owe it to the people who fought to make our land better. I'll leave you for now, but keep your eyes on your hunter mate. I'll contact you if there's more work to do. I can't let you off the hook that easily.
Kia ora. Nau mai haere mai ki Aotearoa. Welcome to New Zealand and to Te Awaroa National Park. This little slice of paradise is teeming with creatures big and small, and more adventures than you'll find on any movie screen or storybook. I've lived out here in the Wop Wops all my life, and never wanted for anything else. In fact, it's practically in my blood. This place and my family go way back. Things have been a little tricky lately, though. It's fast becoming somewhere I don't recognise anymore, and I don't like it. That's why I dragged you out here, Hoa. With your help, we're going to wean ourselves off outside money and make Te Awaroa a model for sustainability the entire South Island can get behind. Right, let's get moving. Glad to see you've arrived in one piece. Josh is my nephew. He just got his licence, and I swear that kid spends more time with his hands on the radio dials than on the steering wheel. I hope he didn't talk your ear off. I've had to rely on him a lot lately since my legs started acting up again. I was planning to head out and meet you today, but here I am at home, propped up on 5 kinds of pillows. Doctor's orders. Anyway, that's enough chit-chat from me. Head over to the outpost marked on your hunter mate and let's get you started. I hope you had a chance to spend some quality time on your own before I rang you up. Your mate, Alejandra, said the two of you were here on holiday? She had nothing but praise for you, by the way. Said you almost single-handedly turned things around for her in Cuatro Colinas. Well, naturally I have pretty high expectations, but let's take our time getting to know each other first. I'll admit that it wasn't just her recounting your heroic antics that made me pick up the phone. She said you were, and I quote, stoic, practical, and probably born out in the bush somewhere. Just what I was looking for, in other words. Not far now. We built these outposts in the early 90s. They got the works, repurposed materials, solar roofs, rainwater tanks. That was back when people used to just call you a hippie. Now everything's sustainable. Clean, green, eco-friendly. Hippies? Ha! Try trailblazers. And good for the environment doesn't have to mean bad for your back. It's pretty cozy inside. Go on, take a look. See, we got company. That'll be Josh's doing, the brat. I told him to leave things be, but I guess he couldn't resist. Anyway, maybe it's just as well you get used to it. I'll fill you in later. Right, mate? See that camera on the table? Strap it to your chest and let me explain what exactly you're here for. There's a lookout tower not far away, so you can head up there and get a sense of the place while I flap my gums. Nice and tight now. Wouldn't want it coming off right when you've got a shot lined up.